Agreeing to disagree is kind of what the Cowboys and Jerry Jones have been doing with Mike McCarthy's contract with the fan base. Kind of is it this? Is it left? Is it right? Ian Rappaport was on with the morning show. And I hear there's some audio you want to play.
Yeah, we do. We've got some audio. This first one is hold on, I got it right here. Shout out to our boy new guy Jake.
That was Joel who sent that message, by the way.
What's that?
From the 469.
Man, shout out to you, Joel. Shout out to you. I appreciate you, big man. Let's see here. Okay, so is it 100% that McCarthy returns to the Cowboys? Rappaport number 2.
That because I don't think that's always been my thought. You know what I mean? The denial was always going to happen no matter what. The Cowboys have, you know the way the Cowboys think, like they have the right to talk to him. They're going to use that right. Like they're not going to just give up their exclusive negotiating window for nothing. So I knew there was no chance that anyone was going to get to interview him. But I'm with you though. I mean, I would say, to me, judging from the comments from both sides, judging from the fact that the Cowboys have continued conversations with him, I mean, I believe he's back as well. But, how that actually happens is an interesting thing. If you're the Cowboys, what you'd like is the most flexibility. Obviously it's not going to be like this, but let's just say theoretically, best case, 1-year deal. Give them the option at the end of next year. That's not going to happen. Okay, what about 2 years? That's probably not going to happen either. All right. Well, then how many years are we talking? If you're McCarthy, you want the longest deal you can get because you want the most security. And you want, I would imagine Mike McCarthy does not want to go this again next year. Where all anyone's talking about is his job status the whole year. So there's a middle ground in there. They just have to find it. But, yeah, I'm with you. I believe at the end of the day, McCarthy will be the Cowboys' head coach.
I mean, I think that's kind of the way we all feel about this. And, yes, there's going to be some jostling around going on for the next few days. Here's what I guess, and just a couple things we got to clear up. A couple people texted in. Shout out to Joel, number 1. Shout out to you. Number 2, hey, I'm a stoner neighbor, and I'm cool as bleep. Fair enough. All right. And again, I'm not dogging out stoner neighbors because we know you're out there. All right. And you know what? My stoner neighbor could be a very nice guy. All right. When it's all said and done. I just, like I said, arm's length. And then secondly, somebody just texted in. We've had a couple people text in. Hey, I'm new to this late night show, but longtime Tolo. What is a fatty?
And we're spelling it wrong.
That's okay. That's okay. It's going to take time. I mean, look, we're kind of in that new. I mean, it hadn't even been a week yet. Right? I mean, we talked about it for a month and a half, whatever it was. So for all of you who are wondering what a fatty is a listener of the late night show. Okay? Fan After Dark.
F-A-D-D-I-E. That stands for Fan After Dark. F-A-D-D-I-E.
That's right. So if you're still a Tolo no matter what, right? I mean, Tolos make the world go round. But we all know that folks who listen to the morning show, midday, afternoon, and nighttime show, a little bit different. Nighttime show listeners, different breed of folk. And that's what we love about y'all.
Our favorite breed.
100%. And so if you are a nighttime listener to Fan After Dark, not only are you a Tolo, but you're a fatty as well. F-A-D-D-I-E. So that, in case you were wondering, there you have it. Real quick, before we get into this, wrap up the Mike McCarthy talk. Cleveland 129, Oklahoma City 122. We're going to go on a little bit of a rant about this here in just a little bit, but big win for the Cleveland Cavaliers. But we'll touch on that here in just a second. I'm not surprised at all about the Mike McCarthy. That I ultimately do think he is going to be the head coach. Now, another little nugget came out today that the Cowboys have been doing some research, a.k.a. due diligence, on other coaches out there as well. So you almost wonder, Blake, you mentioned this yesterday about okay, what happens if he only gives him a 1-year deal?
Mike McCarthy's saying no, probably.
Oh, yeah, I'm out.
But he's only saying no if he does other interviews.
No. If Mike McCarthy, first of all, that's an insult that you don't want him here.
Yeah, and you know how I feel.
Because I'll put it to you like this. Say what you want about Mike McCarthy, because I guess my question for you is this, and this is why I go back to the whole, and we can throw this out there to you guys, 877-881-1053, 877-881-1053. Look, I understand that, yes, are there question marks about Mike McCarthy, and more so in the postseason. I think he's answered the regular season question.
He answered that pretty soon. I mean, first season 8 wins, and then everything after that 12.
Yeah,
not counting this year.
Well, I think he's had two losing seasons, right? And of course, Bobby Belt has been on a tirade here on social media as far as but it's good stuff. But I appreciate what Bobby's doing there, because I think it does help put things into perspective. And I know one of the things, and if you guys go check out the podcast For the Love of the Star, it's definitely worth listening to him and Brian Broaddus. I think, look, there's no two guys more plugged in than those two when it comes to talking all things Dallas Cowboys. But I don't know that I trust. In fact, I know I don't trust.
No, it was only 6 wins the first season.
Yeah.
2020, 12, 12, 12, and then this season.
And then this season, right? So my thing is this when it comes to and look, I'm not saying like, okay, well, you're stuck with him, but do you trust Jerry Jones and this front office to make the right head coaching move?
No.
And that's that's my point. All right, that's what I'm getting at when it comes to do you go ahead and you keep Mike McCarthy, all right, considering what he's got, have him tweak a few things, because if I told you, hey, he was bringing in some young up and coming offensive coordinator,
then I would feel a little bit better. Yeah, that Mike's not at the helm of the play calling and install, because the offenses look prehistoric for some time now. Now you've had all world players in a CeeDee Lamb, in a Rico and Tony Pollard breakout, a Jake Ferguson making the Pro Bowl, that have kind of covered up some of those things.
Yeah.
But the play calling, when you're just watching first 2-3 seconds of a play before the ball's even
nothing
snapped,
innovative about it.
Nothing innovative. The Dolphins, the 49ers, the Rams, these guys are great players they have around them, the Chiefs. But these guys are also wide open.
The Lions.
Jordan Addison looks really good when he's wide open.
I think that's the frustrating part about it. You and I talked about this at the beginning of the year, is like, how many times have we seen dudes just running free? Yeah. Now, that being said, there were times towards the end of the year where you would see Jonathan Mingo open. You would see, I mean, hell, we made the joke on Sunday. Jalen Tolbert wide open in the middle of the field, and I'm like, Jalen Tolbert wide open, and then finally he ends up throwing to him, and we laughed about it. But you finally started to see some of that, and you just wonder if. And
I feel like the Commanders weren't even taking that game that serious. They said they were, but I didn't feel like they were taking it
I think they
serious.
were to an extent. I think they were to an extent. I mean, you can't just.
I'm saying once Jaden came out, they were like, all right.
Yeah, but I'll say this much though. I mean, look, it wasn't like Marcus Mariota was. I mean, again, you didn't necessarily have your best guys out there per se, but I don't think too though these guys just laid down.
No, I don't think they laid down.
You know what I mean? So I think there's going to be a lot more left on this. I would just like to see them hurry up and get something done one way or the other. Mm-hmm. If you're gonna sign Mike McCarthy, then get it done. Like, what's the real issue here?
Let us know, Tolos, 877-881-1053. That's the Franklin Injury Attorney Tucson. Let us know what the real issue is with the Dallas